You're listening to another episode of the Just Go Bike podcast, powered by RAGBRAI. This is the award-winning podcast where we are all about the culture of cycling, just for the fun of it. Your hosts are Murph from the Murphology podcast and AP from Parrot Talk. With tales from all over the nation, come for the bikes, stay for the fun, and leave with a smile. And now here is Murph.
Hey, that's me.
And AP.
Hey, that's me.
All right, well, let's get to today's episode.
All right. So many of you were already there in real life, but for those that couldn't make it to our Just Go Bike live show, you're in luck.
That's right. We recorded our live show and recorded it so that it's actually, you can listen to it in a podcast version instead of being in the audience.
Yeah. Back in the olden days, Murph and I used to tour around the state of Iowa, hosting similar speaking series to these, where we'd have people from all over the city that we were visiting to come and give a short little speech to an audience. It's so fun to be back doing that kind of thing again. We're going to have more of these Just Go Bike Lives around the state as 2026 goes on. So let's get to it.
Okay, I think it's me and you next.
Oh, what do you know?
This is what we do. Okay, so we wanted to just give you, we won't talk very long because we have a couple more speakers, but we wanted to tell you a little bit more about the podcast. As we talked about at the beginning, it's a bicycle-themed podcast, but like AP said, we don't talk about all the bells and whistles that are on bikes and how they work and how to change a tire and stuff like that. We talk about the fun side.
Yeah, so we have all sorts of different types of podcasts. Like I mentioned earlier, we have our podcast where we talk about what's going on during the pre-ride and the ride, but we also do interviews of people, interesting characters throughout the RAGBRAI community. We also do podcasts that are about preparing for RAGBRAI or the towns or what to expect on RAGBRAI. It's kind of a cool mix.
But the overall theme in almost every single episode is RAGBRAI, which we know has been going on since, does anybody know what year it started? 1973. Great job.
Yeah.
Great job.
So we just reached 1 million listens. We're pretty excited about that.
1 million.
And later in 2026, we're about to hit our 400th episode. So
that's top secret.
Oh,
but I did type it in there. All right.
I'm sorry. I skipped ahead on the bullet points. I got excited. It's coming up.
But we're going to throw a little party. So if you're back in Des Moines, we haven't decided when and where yet, but it'll be sometime in late spring. So 400 episodes.
We try to make it pretty easy to find us on the social medias. So you can find us Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, kind of you name it.
And if you have an iPhone, you don't even have a choice. It comes with a little icon for podcasts. So if you have somebody who's savvy with their phones, you can figure out how to get Just Go Bike on there. If you don't have an iPhone, I don't know.
Then
you'll have to figure out. Yeah, there's a way to do that too. Yeah. So yeah.
All right.
And then our best secret is almost everything that we do and we own has secret symbols on it.
Yeah, we wanted to share a secret with you guys because, this is a fun event. We don't always get to talk to you face to face. So our secret is that even this banner behind us has a little shamrock and a parrot on it because that's our secret symbol. So
she's the parrot, I'm the shamrock.
There you go.
Yeah. It's actually on our shirts too, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there you have it.
There you
go.
All right.
There's a little bit about us. There's a little bit about our podcast. We encourage you to listen if you haven't.
Yes.
All right. So let's get to our next speaker. Let's do something interesting. More.
Oh gosh, we got more.
I know, something interesting. It's some quotes about us. So you can't read that from where you're sitting, but we have some fans. We just kind of wanted to show the support that we have from our community. Yeah. We're super grateful for that.
Especially when things say, like this, more AP and Murph banter. Those two crack me up.
All right. Yeah, that's what we like to hear. But we do take criticism as well, although we won't put it on our slide. So
right.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone who listens to us.
Okay, here we go.
All right. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our next speakers. We have Audrey and Kate from the Iowa City Bike Library, and I can't wait to hear what they want to tell us about their organization because it's pretty cool.
Thank you so much for having us here today. I'm the executive director of the Iowa City Bike Library in Iowa City, Iowa. We are a nonprofit community bike shop, and at the Bike Library you can donate a bike. That's how we thrive. You can also rent a bike, buy a bike, earn a bike if you're a teen, ride a bike, learn how to ride a bike, or fix a bike.
Yeah, I'm Kate Wiley, fundraising coordinator at the Bike Library. We just said that we are a community bike shop, which is an umbrella term for nonprofits like ours that make cycling more accessible. So there's over 200 across the country, and then there's 6 in Iowa. So around this area, you might have heard of the Street Collective in Des Moines. There's also We Cycle in Ames. We've got the Iowa City Bike Library, and then pretty close by, Audrey helped us start the Cedar Rapids Chain Reaction Bike Hub. There's also the Cedar Valley Bicycle Collective in Waterloo and the Dubuque Bike Co-op. So these are all organizations across Iowa that are taking in donated bicycles, recycling them in their community, and teaching all people about how to do their own mechanics on their bike.
And one thing that you probably have noticed in some communities is there is usually an old man in his garage fixing up kid bikes, which we love, and we're just like at the next level from that. So there's probably a lot of unsanctioned community bike hubs in these small towns across Iowa.
Yeah, every community bike shop looks different. So for example, the Street Collective focuses on infrastructure advocacy. We have a real focus on youth programming at the Cedar Rapids Chain Hub and the Iowa City Bike Library. And then others like We Cycle focus on getting bikes to unhoused folks that need them most desperately. So at the Iowa City Bike Library, we pride ourselves on serving everyone that walks through our doors at any stage of their cycling endeavor and regardless of their circumstances. We want everybody to have access to the joy and freedom that a bicycle affords. So we are reducing barriers that are financial barriers, language barriers, or knowledge barriers to bikes and bike mechanics. So to do this work, we take in about 2,000 donated bicycles a year. Our volunteers and our mechanics fix them up, and then we offer them for sale or rental for 6 months at the Bike Library. We are also a unique nonprofit in that we generate about 60% of our operating budget through these sales and rentals. It's this format that also allows us to give free bicycles to the people that need them most. So we have partnerships with the Shelter House and DVI and Domestic Violence Intervention Program, as well as United Action for Youth and NCJC, people that need immediate access to the reliable transportation and recreation that a bicycle can bring. All right. Are you ready to talk about Public Bench?
Yeah. So one of our cornerstone programs is called Public Bench. We have about 15 socially conscious programs at our shop. To give you an idea of how big our shop is, every community bike shop looks different. Ours is a 7,000 square foot warehouse that we have transformed into a community hub. We have 5 full-time staff and about 200 volunteers on our roster, 50 of which are active any given week throughout the year, including the winter. But we have about 15 programs. One of our main programs is called Public Bench. So 3 days a week, it's open to anybody who wants to come in. We have 6 tool benches and repair stands, and you can sign in and do anything that you want to do on your bike, even if you've never picked up a wrench before in your life. So we do not service bikes for people, but we teach you how to fix your own bike. And one of the things I'm really proud about is that people come to our shop maybe having never picked up a tool before, not really knowing anything about the mechanics of the bike, but they want to learn. Or maybe they just don't want to spend a whole lot of money because they either don't have it or they want to learn. They can come in and use Public Bench, and they get to get their hands dirty, work on their own bikes. We have all the tools there. We have all the salvage parts there that they can use to fix up their bike. We do have new stuff as well, like housing, cables, brake pads, chains, things that you wouldn't want to necessarily use used if you can help it. And we we have mechanics who are there to guide you through anything you want to do. So if you have the time, we have the patience to help you work through any repairs you want to do on your bike, and it's all free.
This year, I was talking to one of the United States Air Force folks that help people on the side of the road at RAGBRAI, and he said that one of the most common fix that you need on the side of the road at RAGBRAI is to just fix a flat tire. It's really quite a few simple steps, and we could all learn how to do that. We could all be self-sufficient on the ride for the most part, and so we're hoping to get people, ready to take the ride on by themselves.
Yeah, one of the policies that we have at our shop is called the hands-off assisting approach. And so for our mechanics and for our volunteers, this policy, it's a 2-page policy, but it really talks about and gets down to the nitty-gritty of how you can be a good, positive teacher to someone, even if you've only just learned yourself how to fix a flat, let's say last week. There are lots of things that you can pass on. And so the bike library is all about knowledge exchange. So even if you don't know how, to do something as an expert or professional, you can work together with someone in a respectful and empowering way to, figure out what that mechanical issue is. And this came about because as a woman in a bike shop, I've had lots of disempowering experiences in the shop. And so I wanted to make sure when I started that we were teaching people and guiding them through repairs in a really positive way. And that is something that, we do a lot of work on.
So who knows how to fix a flat? You guys. Great crowd here. We have been incredibly busy. We've been campaigning. Just 15 months ago, we embarked on a $1 million capital campaign. This last Thursday, we launched it publicly with about $755,000. And in that single night on the public launch, we raised $85,000. So this campaign is oriented around making a youth bike coordinator sustainable within our organization. When Audrey came on 7 years ago, she began incredible youth programs that operate through partnerships in the community. So we partner with NCJC and UAY to bring under-resourced kids to our shop, almost in a similar way as Dream Team. We invite them to work on a bike of their choosing for 3 weeks. If they work on that bike for a combined about 9 hours, they get to take it home for free with a helmet, lock, and lights. This is really important programming that makes bikes accessible to all teens. However, we were relying on staffing outside of our organization. As I said, we are a very financially stable organization, so as other nonprofits are struggling, we saw that it was our time to take up the mantle and ensure that this programming continues to exist in Johnson County. We were able to hire our youth bike coordinator in March of 2025, and so far he's helped about 20 kids earn a bike. The shop is filled every week with teens working and learning mechanical skills.
And this is really important because as we are on our screens, as there are more distractions for kids to, stay inside, I think most of us here probably grew up without a whole lot of, parameters and barriers to getting out and riding by ourselves by the time we were, 9 or 10. And things have changed a lot these days. And learning how to fix a bike translates to being a better rider, but it also translates to being able to find out different parts of yourself and freedoms out in being free out in your community and going places that you never thought you'd be able to go. And so I think there's a stat recently that in the last 10 years, there's half as many teens riding their bikes. And that's not okay. And so having this youth bike coordinator in Johnson County helping to hopefully reverse those numbers and getting more kids out riding bikes off screens is super important.
All right, a community bike shop is an incredible resource for every single community. It takes dusty bikes out of garages, recycles them to people that need them. It keeps plastic, it keeps rubber and metal outside of the landfills, and it gets more people on bikes. We are able to significantly reduce the financial burden of bike ownership and maintenance. It's our belief that every town in Iowa, every city across the country could use a community bike shop. We encourage you to come see what's possible with donated bikes, volunteer power, and a little elbow grease at the Iowa City Bike Library. Thank you.
That was awesome. I've been to the Iowa City Bike Library, and let me tell you, it's an amazing facility. It's huge. So, one question that I have while we're getting to the next speaker, when you said people are fixing their own bikes and then there might be parts that are brand new that they have to use, do they have to pay for those? Okay. So it's just a few bucks. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we have one more speaker left, and he probably needs no introduction, but Mr. Scott Sumpter. And he's going to speak on several levels, but I don't want to take your moment of glory. Anyway, Mr. Scott Sumpter, BikeIowa.
So this is pretty low key. I'm Scott Sumpter. I've run BikeIowa for 24 years. Kind of started out as a little small site just because to go get rides back in the day, you'd have to go to a bike shop, look at a bulletin board, or you have to be part of a club and get like a newsletter in the mail. So that literally 24 years ago, the web was just kind of getting fired up. We were doing some things. I was working at Principal Financial Group and kind of doing some web stuff there, and just kind of was able to transfer some of that knowledge over and created kind of a BikeIowa from there. It was just a little online calendar for a while, and now it's pretty much a statewide resource that is used for events and news and features and just kind of all things promotion, all things cycling in Iowa. So through those 24 years, I've ridden 18 RAGBRAIs, and for the last 7 or so years, have taken BikeIowa on RAGBRAI in some way. So haven't ridden RAGBRAI in July, but I've been able to go on the pre-ride, which really helps. So being out there, a lot of the images I had on here was kind of, people ask, how can you skip RAGBRAI? Kind of like, well, I get to go in June with a great group of 20-some people, and so I know what the hills are like. We get to meet with all the committees, bar owners, business owners, CVBs, and it's just a real, engaging time, I guess, satisfying time to meet with all those folks. And then you can talk in July. So a lot of the images I had were like of people you meet on RAGBRAI, you're strange, you're weird, you're odd people, it's just cool people you meet. And throughout the years, we've kind of started to take a little tourism aspect, bicycle tourism. We notice there's so many people from Iowa the first time, they're like this year in Orange City, they're like, I've never been to Iowa before. This is what's in store for me. It's like most people still think of it as a flyover state. We got world-class trails, we got world-class communities. We live in a pretty cool place, really, in comparison for not having any oceans or mountains. So we've taken a little bit of tourism stuff with us. It's kind of an afterthought, a side table. Most of the stuff blows away. We could find rocks, put it on, just trying to keep a little bit. We got quite a bit of engagement over the years. And then come Coralville was 2 years ago. How many was in Coralville on the 50th with the storm that went through? So if you've ever seen our setup, we come in with like a toy hauler, and it takes like 2 hours to unload and set stuff up, and then another 2 or 3 hours to put it back in, and so Coralville was the game changer to kind of fire up what we have out here in the parking lot. After that windstorm, we about lost everything. It looked like somebody took the whole trailer and just shook it up and put it away wet. And so after that, we're like, all right, let's do something with like a vending trailer or something. So I looked for a couple years for that. Wanted to grow the tourism side of things. I still feel that's a missed opportunity for a lot of the CVBs and Iowa tourism, is not to sell cycling in our communities, our lodging, our B&Bs, our breweries, our coffee shops, and not sell that to 20,000 people that half of them don't have not from Iowa. So I approached Travel Iowa and RAGBRAI. And I said, you're missing the boat. How come you guys aren't on RAGBRAI? And they're just basically, we don't have the manpower. We don't know how to do this. What would we do? People don't really engage with us at other events very well. And I'm like, well, I think you're, still missing the boat. And I'm going to build a vending trailer, have one built out. What if I build another door on the other side and we can split this trailer out? BikeIowa merch and promotion on one side and Travel Iowa like a mobile welcome center on the other. And they thought about it a little bit and they're like, yeah, if you're willing to do legwork and everything like that, and I'd apply for a little grant and they kind of helped fund some of the trailer out there. But able to get that built out before RAGBRAI. This was like in June when we're making these agreements, and the trailer, we got it like 15 days before RAGBRAI started, so it was like 15, 20-hour days to get it to where it is now outside. So with that, we went on RAGBRAI, had some pretty good engagement. With the partnership with Travel Iowa, we also became a partner of RAGBRAI too, so kind of a trifecta there of the three organizations with that trailer. So we're going to have it out the fall ride tomorrow morning. We'll have it at IEDA, which is Iowa Economic Development. They've got some department party. We're going to showcase it to their employees. We'll be at the Iowa Trails Summit in Cedar Falls. We'll be at the Tourism Conference in March. So kind of starting to get word around, and we're kind of reaching out to communities and trails and nonprofits, and just like, hey, send us your brochures, send us, we'll promote it. So when we were in Cedar Falls, we were able to kind of reorganize the trailer a little bit to be a lot of Cedar Falls trails. If we're in Des Moines, I can pop different maps of Des Moines up and we can take certain things down. If we have volunteers with us, we get a lot better engagement, but it also is also self-serving. You can reach up, grab a map, grab this, grab that, take a picture of a calendar of events or anything like that. We also got Travel Iowa's. I got a 43-inch big screen up there that just loops through Travel Iowa's different videos of different communities, and we can switch that out real easy to whichever community we're in. On the other side, BikeIowa has another smaller TV. Our upcoming cyclocross race, we're going to clear out the BikeIowa side. We're going to do registration from one side and have results and video from the previous races on the other. So just able to reuse it, built it out modular enough for that. And we're hoping it literally takes off more. More events. Don't have a lot of spare time, but it's also could co-op it out. It's like, take it to Iowa City over the weekend, and BikeIowa stuff comes out, and Iowa City Bike Library goes in, and just use it for whatever. So that was kind of the gist. We had Iowa Bike Coalition kind of do, I don't want to say a tap takeover, but a side takeover on RAGBRAI, and they put all their stuff out there, and they were able to promote their stuff there. But yeah, just kind of a way to, give back a little bit and promote bicycle tourism in a little different way. I'm unaware of any other trailers like this out there that is two-sided like this, or kind of a little mobile welcome center that's definitely cycling centric. And it is it's worked out well, and I'm looking forward to many more years with it. Yeah, if you get a chance, we'll be open a little bit, after we all leave here, just to walk around and just kind of get the gist of it. Always open for ideas and feedback. But any questions on that tourism? Any ideas how to make it better? Get the word out?
What exactly is Travel Iowa?
So Travel Iowa is an arm of Iowa Economic Development that promotes Iowa tourism overall. Cycling is just a piece of it. Kayaking, Airbnbs, businesses, scenic byways, all that kind of stuff, and they're kind of the state's entity for that. It's a government, it's a government arm. So yeah, good folks out there, and I think we have indoor storage for it now. So it's kind of over the winter. It might be a little hard to get out, but maybe take it to McBride Fat Bike Race, that kind of stuff. So hopefully use it a little bit more like that. And if you guys have any ideas, I'd love to get it kind of outside of Central Iowa too. It's fun to take it on RAGBRAI and just all the different towns that way. Could even take it, we even offered to take it out of state. Like, what is another, like a Bentonville Mountain Bike Fest, take some Travel Iowa or some Iowa stuff down there. But so there's opportunities to use it for different things. Because all those panels come down and like 10 different screws, and you can have it wide open and modular, and so it's it's definitely something that we can reuse. So they get 2 doors on one side, and then 2 access doors, and then a ramp door that folds down like a stage. So it stays flat out. So small footprint, but yeah. So if nobody has any questions on the trailer, I mean, I think the other thing you wanted me to talk about is cyclocross. Yeah. So who's familiar with cyclocross? Yeah. Iowa is one of the only states that's still growing that sport. It seems like a lot of the other states are kind of down. Like Kansas City used to be huge with it. So cyclocross is it's a bicycle race. They look like road bikes on grass and in parks. They're a little thicker tires, a little meatier, but it's really like a crit race on grass and a little bit of dirt. And that season is popping up. Next weekend is the first race in Cedar Falls called Twisted Cross. And then we got the calendar of events. We got about 9 races in Iowa, which is pretty good. That's a draw. It's just a different. It's definitely a niche. Maybe get 150, 200 people over the course of a weekend. If most of them are 2-day races, super fun to watch too. And they all go on rain or shine. So if you see BikeIowa posts a lot of little videos, little excerpts of the different races and everything. But it's something. Again, a sport I'm passionate about, and I love the way it helps handling. We had a clinic last weekend, 75 people maybe showed up for that, and it's just cool to see people, like, why should my tires not have 60 pounds? They should have like 30, or, just depending on your weight and everything. But yeah, just education, what do you eat? The races are 45 minutes to an hour, and how do you hydrate? How do you eat? What's this mean? What's a lap counters? And so it just letting them know everything about what goes on, and it's worked out well. We've done that clinic several years in a row, but it's definitely kept. I think it's kept the scene alive. I think Cedar Falls has clinics. I think Iowa City has clinics. I think Cedar Rapids has clinics, kind of in weekly practices as well. So we got the calendar out there. If anybody's interested, we do it every Tuesday at a different park in Des Moines through the first week in November. Just ride laps, bring whatever bike you have, and we'll help out where we can just to let you participate. But yeah, Des Moines Park and Rec is our partner on that, and they've worked out really well to do that. Any other questions? BikeIowa.com. I said in its 24th year, but yeah, you haven't checked it out. It's kind of, we post pretty much everything to Facebook too, but I still believe in a one-stop shop where you can go back to a website that's always, got the same data, the consistency of events that are posted, the consistency of news, the way you can search, the taxonomy of how things tie together with cities and trails. Every city in Iowa has a portal on BikeIowa. Every trail in Iowa has a portal. So anytime you post news, we tag it, and then it shows up in multiple places. I always say, like, if you're searching for Arnold Schwarzenegger, do you search for the bodybuilder, the politician, or the actor? You can get to Arnold different ways, right? So it's the same way with our trails. I want to see the events that are on the High Trestle Trail. I want to see the events that are in Madrid. So you can search by different entities that way and just get at it different ways.
That's awesome.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you very much, Scott. All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Well, listeners, that is it for today. We want to thank you for tuning in to listen to the Just Go Bike podcast. If you would like to contact Murph and AP with a comment about the podcast, or maybe even you have a topic in mind, you can reach us at justgobikepodcast@gmail.com. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and watch our intros on YouTube. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, especially if you're a fan. That is going to do it for this week. Until next time,
Just go bike.
Theme song by Ryan Steer, logo by Suzanne Milosevic, produced by Kathy Murphy, social media by Andrea Parrott, intro by Pumpkin. Until next time, just go bike.